Hello and welcome to Garage Rock. We are back after our short break. My name's Steve Aarons, and joining me, straight back from his trip from the United States of America, Mr. Bamarin Canfield. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, really good, man. How you doing, all right?
Christ.
Picked up a bit of an accent, you know what I'm saying, man?
You
That's
could not
cringe.
have... That is very
Cringeworthy, isn't it? Yeah.
It fits in well with this show. How are you going? You've been back for a few days now after your trip to...
Yeah, you sound like you got a bit of an accent. You've been back for a few days. Yeah, no, I'm
It's
good.
rubbing off.
I've had Steve, what an experience I've had.
Oh, yeah.
For 2 weeks away. It has been absolutely awesome.
I could only imagine, Cam.
It's funny when we're talking about accents. When you're over there, you really hear your own accent,
Yes,
don't you?
yeah.
And you start to become a bit self-conscious of it. And I'm like, I'm starting to sound like too Aussie and stuff to people. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, it's not great, but it does help because people, they're friendlier to you when they find out that you're Australian.
Yeah.
I found that in Europe. As soon as they hear an English accent and as soon as they work out that you're not English and you're not American, they're totally cool with you. They're like, here, have more stuff. Have more food. But anyway, we'll get onto your trip in a moment. We do have to introduce the show.
We certainly do.
Of course, this is Garage Rock, the podcast. You can hit us up if you've got any emails or you have any questions or you want to contact us, you want to send us new music because we always feature new music. You can hit us up at our email address, which is garagerockpodcast@gmail.com. And we have got a massive show. You've come back at the wrong time because we've got so much to talk about. Just look at all of these festival announcements.
The festivals and tour announcements, Steve, they make me sick. They're that good.
We're going to run out of money. We've got so many that are coming up, and we'll start listing them off later. And, of course, we've got a new music, and we've got some great tracks again this week. And our top 5 is gone. Well, for the moment, anyway.
For the moment,
we're gonna mix it up. We're gonna have a question of the week, Cam.
Yes,
so we'll throw that out, and so we'll get onto that a little bit later. But I know you're dying to talk about it. I haven't seen you since your return. Please, Cam, tell us about your
this
trip.
This is an actual, genuine catch up.
Yeah,
we can talk about times past.
Exactly.
So, in a nutshell, it was good.
Cool. Now it's time for
Top 5. Come on. I've got a few things I can talk about. I can at least talk about the gigs that I went over to go see.
Of course, and the gig that everyone's is wondering about. You saw Boys to Men in Las Vegas.
I did.
How did you, for starters, why? And how did that come about?
Well, I was looking at, you're in Vegas,
of course,
Steve.
Yeah.
The shows, the residencies. I was looking who's playing.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I would have loved to have seen Gwen Stefani. She wasn't playing.
Oh, yeah.
At the time I was there. I'd love to see Celine Dion.
Really?
Because why not?
Yeah, why not?
You're in Vegas, but she wasn't on when I was there.
Oh, yeah.
Who was on? Boys to Men. Oh, how could you not?
I could not.
Yeah.
I mean,
really?
There's plenty of things
Steve,
to do. Yep.
You would have fucking loved them.
Really?
I've got to show you the videos. I might actually start posting some of them, what they did. Like, I must admit, I went in there and went, all right, I'm pretty much the only bloke in here.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
That's cool.
That's fine.
That's cool.
But I did grow up listening to their music, and I loved it. I thought Boys to Men were awesome. And it started. I thought it was a bit weak. I'm like, oh, what have I got myself into? Like it's good. They got a band.
That's cool.
They got the band, but they had the drummer behind the sound screen, which I hate because then it gives like a theatre production kind of feel to the band, which I don't really like. So it started off, I'm like, yeah, it's good. And then it just got better and better and better because they then did Motown.
Oh, nice.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Like, Motown's cool. They do like, my girl. And then they ended up doing, which I absolutely love. I actually listened to a lot of it when we were away in Wales, a cappella.
Oh, nice.
They did Yesterday by the Beatles.
Oh, cool.
It was freaking awesome. I've got a video of it. I'll show it to you.
Oh, nice.
Which they did really well. I just always loved a cappella. I always loved their version of In the Still of the Night, which they didn't do, but I'm not bitter.
No.
Which was really cool. And then they came out full band again. One of them being the main singer. The other two, one on guitar, one on bass. So you got like a full band. Started playing American Woman by Lenny Kravitz's version.
Nice.
And then started playing Come Together by the Beatles. I'm like, this is freaking amazing.
It's so good when bands don't have enough of their own songs that they can just...
I'll make love to you. and then, they sung a few of those songs out in the crowd, and everyone's coming up and singing along with them. And as soon as someone, what does everyone do when they're next to someone famous nowadays? What do they pull out of their pockets?
Their cock.
Exactly. No, that was me at Blink, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. They get their phones out.
They get their phones out, and obviously that annoys him a little bit. So as soon as someone did that, he'd grab the phone and put it in their pocket.
Oh,
put it in his pocket.
So how many phones did he collect by the end of the night?
No one got the idea, so he just gave up in the end.
Yeah.
The people were going up to the stage and handing the phone to him while they were singing.
What, to Shazam to find out what the song name was?
No, the crowd was going off. It was awesome. I actually saw Jim Jeffries at the same place at the Mirage the night before.
Yep.
He's bloody hilarious.
That was awesome?
Yeah, he was awesome.
And you saw David Copperfield?
I did. I had a choice that night, Steve.
Yeah?
I had a choice. It was between one of the big residencies that were there at the time, Janet Jackson, or David Copperfield.
Was it really a choice?
I'm like, it'd be cool to see Janet Jackson.
Because, everyone likes a bit of subtle nudity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone wants to see a bit of booby tassel. But I thought, I loved David Copperfield growing up as a kid.
Oh, yeah, so did I.
I loved his specials on TVs, which he won like 32 Emmys or something for those specials that he's done over the years.
Sure.
I'm like, I'm going to go see David Copperfield, which was freaking awesome. And plus, I couldn't name a Janet Jackson song, unfortunately.
No.
And tickets were like $250, like starting in the nosebleed. That's American too. No. So I'm like, David Copperfield it was.
So did he do that trick where he like puts his finger over his thumb and then moves it and you can see his thumb moving, or it was a bit more sophisticated?
But I could so see how he did it though.
Oh, amateur.
Oh, some of the tricks freaking amazing. Like he just appeared in like this empty box and, with the white sheets around it and they show that it's all, it's all bloody empty and stuff. And then he just 2 seconds later appears on a motorcycle inside that box. It's fucking unbelievable.
How does he do that? How did he get on the motorcycle?
What a performer though, like such a performer.
But you're standing here, you've got your Blink-182 hat on, you've got your Blink-182 shirt on, you've got your Blink-182 boxer shorts on.
Got my Blink-182 drumstick.
Well, yeah, we can talk about that too. But the main reason you went over to San Diego and then followed it up the following night in Los Angeles to see Blink-182 play Enema of the State. Please, to all of our listeners, tell us how that experience was.
Oh, mate. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Nah, man. It put it this way, it was definitely worth the trip.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I went. I mean, we've seen Blink-182 here in Australia.
We have. Without Travis.
I've seen the original lineup back in, what was that, 03 maybe, 04. And that was great as well, but it was good. It was good, not great. It was good. Like they weren't the best in the world.
Yeah.
So I went over thinking I don't know what they're going to be like. I don't know if they're going to be any good, but they were great. Yeah. They were fucking awesome. Like I'd put it down to one of the best gigs I've been to.
So we'll start it off because you went in the pit, you went front row. If anyone checked out our Garage Rock Instagram, they would have seen the photos from you and the little videos from you front row at the San Diego gig. First of all, Neck Deep opened the show. Yeah,
Neck Deep opened and did an absolutely outstanding job. I'd definitely go see them again. That's the first time I've seen them live. If you like, just your classic pop punk, very, very Newfound Glory sounding.
Cool.
But they are English.
Welsh, I think.
No, they're from England.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they said anyway.
They're from the UK.
Oh, maybe he said UK.
Yeah.
Anyway, they sing an American accent and he made that quite apparent.
So like most Australian pop punk bands.
So they were pretty cool. But before I got in there, Steve, I lined up for ages and I made sure I got pit access. So that's why I wanted to be at the front for this. I'm like,
of course.
I've always wanted to see Blink in San Diego in their hometown. If I'm going to go there, I want to be right up the front. I want to experience this as close as I can.
Yep.
So I did. So I got there
Just
early,
waiting for the climax
lined up
there,
out the front. You know, I was like fifth in line. I was there by myself. I had nowhere else to be during the day.
Yep.
So I'm like, cool, got there early and, yeah, lined up. Got in, went to the security. Like, security's tight, like, especially after all the shootings that were over there. There was 3 shootings while I was over there.
Actually, they cancelled, like, the night before.
Yeah, they cancelled a couple of nights before the El Paso gig, which I was like, please do not cancel San Diego. Please don't cancel San Diego. And they didn't, which was great.
Which is good. There weren't any shootings in San Diego that day. Well, no. Not any mass shootings anyway.
No mass shootings. I mean, the security was tight. Like I said, they had metal detectors. They had police there with AK-47s, like machine guns, Steve. I'd never seen anything like it. I'm like, cool. Yeah, standing with an AK all day. It's like, that was a bit of Tupac there. But, yeah, that was really cool. But, yeah, I finally get in, go to the pit, and I'm getting right at the front here. Oh, sorry, you've got to go down to guest services and print up your ticket, and then you can come back and get your wristband and be let in. And I said, these tickets can't be printed up. It says that on the email. They're one of those ones that can't be printed up. You get a digital one that you can put in your wallet. It's all ready to go to scan. It's fine.
Yep.
So everyone was pissed off because everyone was in the same boat, went to guest services and the printer wasn't working. So meanwhile, people that somehow did have their tickets printed up are getting all the good spots. I'm like, fuck. Anyway, they cancelled that and let us all in. So I'm like, go straight to the front, and I'm about third from the barrier. I'm like, if I'm coming all this way, I'm going to the front. Yeah. I'm going to the front, Steve. I'm doing it.
All those lessons I've taught you from mosh pits, did you take them into consideration?
Well, I thought I'm going to do a Steve and just wait till it starts and push my way to the front. But I looked over and I saw these 2 probably 18, 19-year-old girls and this bloke, and sort of a little gap in between them on the barrier. I just went up to them and I said, hey guys, look, I've come here all the way from Australia just for this show. Do you mind if I squeeze in here? And the 2 girls kind of looked at me weirdly like, yeah, whatever, if you want, okay. And the other bloke turned out to be from Mexico, and he's like, didn't understand a word I said. So I'm like, yes, I'm front and centre. This is awesome. This is great.
And then the show, actually, another artist we've got to talk about, Lil Wayne.
Yeah, so Neck Deep played, and they were awesome. And then Lil Wayne comes on.
Yep.
Yeah. He was cool. It was like, that was full band as well. Like, the DJ was nuts.
Yeah.
Like, halfway through the set, it was just Lil Wayne and the DJ. And oh my freaking God, Steve. Mm-hmm. Like, I've felt bass rumble through my system before.
Yeah.
But nothing like this.
Wow.
Like, I am talking, like, I literally thought my eardrums were going to explode again.
Jeez.
And I could feel my esophagus vibrating.
Wow.
And you know that little dangly thing at the back of your throat?
Your tonsils?
No, not the tonsils.
The flap.
The boxing bag, yeah, the uvula or whatever it's called.
Uvula?
Uvula.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Vulva?
Yeah, so your vulva was shaking.
My labia was shaking everywhere.
That's some bass.
But, like, it was, like, almost unbearable.
That's what I'd have to say, and people, I don't know if I've told you this, but the loudest artist I've ever seen was Bjork.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I don't know, it was just the bass during her show was just incredibly huge. And it was the big day out. And then Rage Against the Machine came on after her, and they sounded timid in comparison.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird, yeah.
I mean, I've seen quite a few hip-hop artists over the time.
Yeah.
And, yeah, nothing compared to this. Like, this was full on. Mm-hmm. Then Blink come out. Well, as I'm waiting for Blink to come out, Steve, they wheel out the drum kit. And where do they wheel the drum kit to?
I don't know, Cam.
Right in front of me.
Oh.
Like, literally, the bass drum was right in front of me. So, when they come out, I'm clear view of Travis Barker.
Yep.
The whole time. I'm losing it. I'm yelling. I'm screaming. I'm full fangirled at Steve.
I can imagine.
This was worth every cent that I paid to get here right now.
Yep.
To have Travis Barker right in front of me, clear view of everything.
Because you're a drummer. We've mentioned this on the show. You're a massive Blink fan. You're a massive Travis Barker fan. You've got his autobiography. You've got all their albums. So this is a big moment for you. It's not just, I'm just front row at a gig. This is something special.
Huge. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say it. You know, starting to learn drums, I learnt a lot off Travis Barker.
Yep.
Like, everyone moulded themselves around there. I look at songs that, you know, recordings I did later on, and I go, oh, I got that from Travis Barker, but without realising
subconsciously,
subconsciously. So it was a really big thing, and to see him that close, which I have done before, but you know, I've read his books, and it's just he'll never come to Australia. So me going to him, and like he could see me, like I was wearing a massive Famous Stars and Straps t-shirt, which is his brand.
Yep.
And he knew.
He's just like, he's like, fucking Cam's here. Like, that's awesome.
He's thinking, have a look at this fucking loser.
I'm going to give him a drumstick later on.
Actually, before anyone came on, before even Neck Deep come on, I'm standing at the front of the barrier. I look over to the right on stage. Who's there? I'm talking Matt Skiba. Matt Skiba comes out. Like, this is, people are still rocking up, you know. He's got a bunch of Matt Skiba guitar picks, and he's handing them out to the crowd. So I got a Matt Skiba guitar pick, and he's saying, you know, thanks for coming, all this. Yeah. Like, they sold this place out. This was an amphitheatre, which was, I'd liken it to Sydney Mine Music Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but it holds about 20,000 people, and it was sold out, and the sound was awesome as well. So they started with Dumpweed. Right. Obviously, because it's the first song on Enema of the State. They played the whole album back to front, which Mark said apparently is a hygienic way to wipe.
Apparently so.
So Blink do have that funny banter still, even though Tom's not there.
And what was the crowd like? I could imagine, like you said, there was some 18-year-old girls. Yeah. I could imagine it was like, was it an older, because this is the 20th anniversary of Enema of the State.
Yep.
Were there a lot of people in their 30s, maybe 40s, who were like old school fans, or were this like a lot of teenagers?
Mixed.
Yep.
Very mixed. Like, there was, you know, a lot of people my age. There was older.
Yeah.
There was, one of the ladies that I got to know in the line when we had to print up our tickets, she was probably about mid to late 40s.
Okay.
And she was like, I come to these gigs on my own because, you know, my friends get lost and they can't handle the mosh pit. And then I'm standing in the barrier and she's like, hey, Australia! And she's waving at me. And so there was that. And then you had the 18, 19-year-olds standing next to me, Steve.
Yeah.
Which can only be described as what I would say possibly rich kids.
Oh, rich kids.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the parents have bought them. They got the VIP lanyards, which sold out in 3 seconds. I don't know how they got them.
Yeah.
Where you can... You get into the pit, you get to do a weird meet and greet beforehand and watch sound check and all that. So, these two girls, and they're standing there, and I'm talking to the security guard, who was an absolute legend. You could see how excited I was, and he ended up giving me a Travis Barker drumstick that fell down between the barrier and all that. Because I'm like, it fell down, and I'm like, he's choosing who to give it to. I'm like, me, I'm from Australia. He's like, there you go. So
I got a lanyard though. Come on.
Ditched the Mexican next to me.
How American.
Well, right near the border too.
Oh, yeah, true.
I did go to the border and stick my toe into Mexico, so I went to Mexico as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, too scared to go in there by myself.
Yeah, well, understandably.
Yeah.
You get raped.
But yeah.
I don't think you can actually get raped. I'm just clarifying. I'm just going by what the president's saying, and if he knows, I don't know. Did you get raped?
No.
Good. We've cleared up that myth.
Close. No. There's some dangerous places in America, but yeah. Anyway, true. These two girls next to me, Steve, talking to security guards. Security guards talking to them and saying, you know, you guys excited for the show, and they're like, yeah. And I'm trying to talk to them, saying, for some reason, we're talking about why I've come from Australia and to watch this show. And I said, Travis Barker won't fly anymore because he's in a plane accident and he had burns and stuff like that. And it's all in his book, I'm saying. She's like, I'm like, you should read his book. And she's like, yeah. It's sort of like rolling her eyes like my kids do to me. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm that guy.
You are.
I'm that old guy.
Yeah.
And they don't care what I'm saying. They're just there because I'm pretty sure their parents have paid for them to be there, and they maybe like one song but don't really. I said to them, have you guys ever been in a Blink mosh pit before, or a mosh pit at all? And they're like, nah, never been in one before. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's going to get pretty, most likely, I'm guessing going to get pretty hectic, and you're going to get a lot of pushing and things like that. And she's like, that's all right. I just push back. This tiny little thing. And I'm like, she's going to get squished. And sure enough. And in my head, Steve, I said, second song.
Yep.
Second song, she'll be whinging, complaining, or asking to get pulled out.
Yep.
Like clockwork, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Like clockwork. She's turning around to the person behind. And I got to say, the whole time, it was tame as. Like, it got close, but it wasn't squishy. It wasn't pushed. It wasn't bad at all. Like, it was really, really tame. Anyway, second song, Steve.
Yeah.
She's turning around to the person behind her who must have been lightly pressing up against her. Get off me, you whore! I'm like, great choice of words. I'm like, you all right? She's like, yeah, just get off me, you whore!
So, because I remember seeing Blink-182 with you at Soundwave, and you, at one stage, your feet weren't even on the ground.
No, you just get
It was a crush, and you kind of just got lifted and moved around, and you ended up about 20 metres away without touching the ground. Like, where's Cam? Going, help!
That was what I was expecting, but it wasn't like that. It was pretty tame. It was just, one of those real cruisy mosh pits where you can sort of dance around. I could still get to my pockets and get my phone out to take photos and stuff. It was
to be
great.
honest, that is, to me, that's an awesome pit. Nowadays, that's an awesome pit.
Yeah.
Earlier days, not so much. But I remember going to the big day out, and it was Muse were headlining. It was just after one of the Twilight movies. And I think Lily Allen was playing earlier. And so there were a lot of young girls who were there for Lily Allen.
Yeah.
And then they've stuck around for Muse. And like, oh, Muse, Twilight. And they were like these 15, 16-year-old girls. And they were standing right next to me at the front. I'm like, you're going to die.
You're going to get squished.
Pretty much. And yeah, I remember I didn't see much of the first song because I just had the security guard's gut just pressing against my face as he was dragging out these 15-year-old girls over my head. And I'm like, this is awesome. But I couldn't see much of it. So, yeah, anyway.
There wasn't that many crowd surfers. Actually, the first crowd surfer was about a 9-year-old kid with a blue mohawk.
Of course it was.
I've never seen that before. That was obviously gone there with his parents, and they've gone, yeah, you can crowd surf. So
awesome.
That was cool. And something else happened, Steve.
Of course, go on.
You know how I was saying the drum kit was set up right in front of me?
Right in front of you.
So they obviously played the first half of the set there. Mm-hmm. Travis did.
Yep.
And then halfway through, Mark and Matt went out into the crowd and did 2 acoustic songs.
Cool.
Which was freaking awesome. And in the meantime, what's supposed to happen is they move the drum kit away, which they started to do, and Travis is supposed to go onto the bigger drum kit at the back, which is in a big cage, which is supposed to spin around and go upside down, and it didn't work that night.
Oh.
So I got to see Travis Barker play the whole set right in front of me. So I was a bit disappointed I didn't see that, but I was kind of like, hopefully it works tomorrow night at the LA gig. And so I got to see the whole show with Travis Barker right in front of me. And it worked out perfect for me.
I can tell by the boner you've got right now.
It was just really cool because you can see that he just literally puts absolutely everything into it. And
even just watching the videos, amazing to watch. Even just watching the videos you uploaded of just like certain tracks, where he's just going crazy, and it's like, fuck, he puts a lot of effort into that gig.
Yeah, even if it's something simple, say like all the small things, just a simple beat. It's 110% or nothing at all.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what I like about Travis. And like he'll practice that whole set on a practice kit backstage right before they're about to play.
Yeah.
Most people would be too buggered to do that.
Exactly.
But it's,
Well, that's where all the pills come in.
So yeah, I was very I had a really good. He's clean at the moment, I think.
Oh, good on him.
According to his book, that's where he's left off. But anyway,
Yep.
yeah, it was a really good show. I enjoyed it immensely.
And the following night, you went to the Forum, the iconic Forum in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And what was it like from a different perspective?
Yeah, well, I decided that for the second gig, I'd like to. Well, it was all seating.
Oh, right. Oh, even on the ground, there was
Even
no
on the
pit?
ground, it was all
'Cause it's
seating.
Is it a theatre?
Yeah, I think originally it was made for sports, and then they've turned it into.
Okay.
I'd liken it to probably Rod Laver, smaller than Rod Laver.
Okay.
Margaret Court, maybe.
Okay.
That's a bit smaller than Rod Laver, isn't it?
It is.
Sort of like that mixed with bloody
Seats.
Festival Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, but all seats at the front. So I'm like, I don't really want to sit down at the front,
Yeah.
which I'm glad I didn't. I sat on the next level up, and the drum riser did work that night, so I still got to see him go up in his drum riser, spin around upside down. It was freaking awesome.
Awesome.
Travis Barker. And I was lucky enough where I was sitting when they come and did the acoustic songs.
Right next to you.
Mark was right in front of me.
Exactly. And the video up on our Instagram.
Yeah, you can check that out. Playing down, down, down,
Down,
down.
down.
So good.
So overall, Cam, a great experience.
Oh, an absolute awesome experience. I can rattle on about it for ages. The
already
whole
have.
trip. I know. I could keep going about saying so much more. Like they did Satan, like their
like the
original
originals, yeah.
live show and things like that. And they did What's My Age Again with Lil Wayne come up and did that. Don't really like that version, but it was cool to see. I could rattle on for ages. But if you want to know any more, please let me know, because I just loved it, Steve.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Just the gig, the Forum is in Inglewood.
Inglewood.
And that place is an experience in itself. I didn't realise that's basically a Compton.
Right.
Yeah, and guess where I stayed?
Compton?
Close. I stayed in Inglewood.
Oh.
It was one of the scariest experiences of my life.
So how many bullet wounds have you got?
Oh, Steve, far out. Wow.
Yeah. I was reading actually because I went to Rio for the World Cup a few years ago, and they were saying that in Rio in a given year, like 25% of people are caught in crossfire.
Wow.
In a city of 100 million people, that's 25 million people are caught in crossfire every year. That's fucking insane.
I got to admit, Steve, I went to LA, obviously, first for 4 days and then 2 days in the end.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of scary places and things. And literally, like, you could be in the middle of somewhere really cool, and if you could be 2 seconds, go 2 seconds up the road, and you're in bad spots.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
So it's pretty much like just growing up in Frankston.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just on a bigger scale. Like, it's fucking huge. But all in all, Steve, awesome trip.
Mm-hmm.
I literally could not have packed any more in than I did.
Cool.
LA, San Fran, Vegas, San Diego, which I've always wanted to go to, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to retire there.
Dipped a toe in Mexico.
Yeah, dipped my toe in Mexico. I went to 3 states, actually. I actually ended up going to Arizona. I did a helicopter ride to the Grand Canyon, which was freaking awesome.
Jesus.
Life-changing, Steve.
Packing everything in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we will hear more about your trip in days to come, because in podcasts to come. Because
Any questions?
Any questions? So, what was Blink like again?
Freaking awesome. So worth it. If you get a chance to go see them.
Exactly. Well, it'd be good for them to bring the anniversary tour down here. Probably not, but hey, who knows? It's a crazy world out there. It may even happen, but
There are boats. There are boats that come here.
Travis isn't going to come here. I think that Mark has pretty much resigned to the fact that Blink itself may never come to Australia again.
You know what annoyed me a little bit though, Steve?
What was that, Cam?
Tom DeLonge at the time was posting on Instagram jamming with Angels and Airwaves. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're jamming with Angels and Airwaves. You might as well be playing with Blink. Like, come on, let's
Yeah.
do this.
Selfish.
Yeah.
Selfish, trying to do his own stuff.
I get it. I reckon that it'll all come back together one day, maybe for a gig or a show or two. I don't know,
Get their shit together.
but I'll go to that if I can.
Cool. Well, we do have to move on, Cam.
Oh, just one more thing. No, I'm joking.
Cam, I mean, this week has just been announcement after announcement after freaking announcement.
Seriously,
we've got so much.
Can you
to
rattle
talk
them
about.
off? I'm sick of talking.
Yeah, I'm sick of listening. So we're going to go through some of the announcements here for tours and for festivals, and we'll just rattle them off because there's too many. But first of all, Cam,
Yes.
one of the biggest New Year's festivals in the country for its 27th year. Can you believe it, Cam?
27 years straight, Stephen.
Falls Music and Arts Festival. The first lineup's been announced, Cam. But first of all, we're going to go through the dates. It's taking place in Lorne in Victoria on December 28 to 31, Marion Bay in Tasmania on December 29 to 31, Byron Bay in New South Wales on December 31st to January 2nd, and in Fremantle on January 4th and 5th. Now, the lineup, Cam.
Yeah.
Here we
What a lineup.
go. Halsey, Vampire Weekend, Disclosure, Peking Duck, Of Monsters and Men. You saw them when you were over in the States.
I
as
did.
well,
I saw them live in Jimmy Kimmel.
Did you?
In Hollywood. It was,
You ended up on Jimmy Kimmel's show and watched.
I saw they were playing in the car park at Jimmy Kimmel. Went and watched them. Freaking awesome.
Freaking awesome. So you would recommend seeing them at Falls Festival?
Oh, totally.
Totally.
Yeah. If you like stuff like Mumford and Sons,
Yep.
with the chick singer, basically,
Yeah.
that kind of style.
Exactly.
Awesome. From Iceland.
From Iceland. Panau, Milky Chance, caught up with them at Falls a couple of years ago. Very nice guys.
Yeah, well-
Germans.
Somebody get them some milk.
Christ. Dope Lemon, Vera Blue, Number One Dads, Wax, Psychedelic Porn Crumpets,
Oh, the crumps.
and many more, and more to be announced. But also, Cam, Mr. John Farnham,
Oh, unbelievable.
Australian music icon.
Do you reckon you'll bring in the new year at all? Like, do they have the lineups? You know,
They haven't got the
timetables. I
timetable
mean,
yet, but he may. I don't know.
imagine you're the voice in bringing you into the new year. That's the ultimate New Year's, isn't it?
Exactly. Unless Blink's there. But actually,
I've been there, done that.
I was actually talking I know John's son, Rob. Hello if you're listening. And we were actually talking with him a couple of years ago. It was just after Daryl Braithwaite played. And he'd absolutely killed it. And everyone was talking about how amazing it was. And people were saying to him, you know, has your dad ever thought about doing Falls? Has he ever been approached? And he said he was worried about doing it, that the crowd would be too, young, and to be like, he'd be sort of like, oh, why are they bringing him out here for? Like, he's past it, or it's nothing. And everyone was saying to him, that's stupid. Why?
My kids listen to You're the Voice.
Like, he would absolutely kill it.
They asked me to play it. They're 7 and 9.
Yeah. Well, he's relented, and this year he's going to be there. And I tell you what, it will go off.
It'll be a hit.
Oh, absolutely. And special guest performances. Tash Sultana will be in Byron Bay. What's So Not in Lorne. Wolf Mother in Marion Bay. And Matt Corby's doing it for his brother in Fremantle. Now, tickets are on sale now from fallsfestival.com. And I'll tell you what, Cam, if it hasn't already sold out, Lorne will sell out virtually immediately every year.
Oh, yeah.
And others will follow soon. And I'll tell you what, go to Marion Bay, go to Tassie. I've spoken to a few people who are saying that, Alex from Garage Rock, he went down there once and he said it was amazing. It was just a totally different vibe to the other Falls festivals. And yes, if you're a fan of the lineup and Lorne's sold out and you want to go, head down to Marion Bay, definitely. But Cam,
can you take kids?
You can. Well, you can to the Marion Bay one. I know is more family friendly, but yeah.
That'd be
Falls
cool.
Festival. So our
take
next
the
one,
kids.
Yeah, take the kids down to Tassie.
Johnny Farram.
As
my nan used to call him.
But there are also another festival on New Year's, Cam, if you'd like to tell us about that.
Oh, mate. And this one, my wife actually said, can we go to this? Like, this is freaking awesome.
You're going to have to manage between the two of them, Cam.
Can't do everything. No, we're talking New Year's Eve on the Hill, Steve.
Yes.
I mean, wow, this lineup. Anyway, New Year's Eve on the Hill in South Gippsland in Victoria, which is limited to, I think, 3,000 tickets. So it's only a small festival, which is
boutique,
awesome.
I believe they call it.
Boutique, if you will. On December 30th to January the 1st, the lineup has been announced, and wow.
Yes.
The Living End, Steve.
One of your favourites.
If not one of my favourites. I've seen them for bringing the New Year's Pyramid Rock Festival years ago, and that was the best New Year's I've ever had.
Yep.
It was so good. And not to mention, Trophy Eyes are playing.
Yep.
Odette, Eves Caritas, Slowly.
Your boys.
Oh, my boys. Which I'm spewing. My wife went and saw Slowly while I was away.
Yep.
And I said, with her friends, and they said it was awesome. And I'm like, oh, I miss out on all the fun. But
True. As you were texting her from the front of the pit. I want to see slowly at the pier.
Miss out on all the fun. And here I am, in the Allen set at Warner Brothers. Pierce Brothers, Greta Ray, Dylan Joel. Oh, we spoke to him in the last Pyramid Rock Festival.
A long time ago. Jesus, it was about 7 years ago. We've been doing this for too long. Just like this episode.
It'll all pay off. Rat Hammock, John Florini, and many, many more, Steve, to be announced. Now, tickets are on sale right now, Steve, from NYE on the Hill, or Nye on the Hill, if you will.
Yeah.
.com.au.
Not to be confused with Bill Nye, the science guy. Because there was that time he was on a hill and you could buy tickets to watch him. This isn't that. This isn't Bill Nye on the hill. Now, Cam, we talked about 27 years for Falls Festival. Trump that by an extra 4. 31st annual Byron Bay Blues Fest, Cam.
Oh, that's a lot of bees there, Steve.
That's a lot of bees. And it'll be taking place on April 9 to 13 at Tiagara Tea Tree Farm in Byron Bay.
Somebody get him some milk.
You're getting even more pointless as we go on. How many red wines is that now? Half a glass.
Half a glass.
Half a glass. The first lineup has been announced, and this is huge, Cam. I mean, featuring Dave Matthews Band, Crowded House are getting back together for a one-off performance at the Byron Bay Blues Fest. Awesome. Patti Smith and her band, George Benson, Brandy Carlisle, John Butler, your mate Xavier Rudd, the Cat Empire, and many more. And more to be announced. You can buy tickets for 1 day or up to a 5-day pass. Tickets are available now and are available from bluesfest.com.au.
Someone said that to me while I was overseas, like, what's your accent? I said, Australian. He's like, you like the Cat Empire?
Really?
Like, yeah, they're pretty cool. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I love those guys. And that was it.
That was it?
Yeah, the Cat Empire. There you go.
Oh, the security guard at the gig was like pretty keen on him.
Might have been an Uber driver. I spoke to a lot of Uber drivers.
Yeah, as an Uber driver, I spoke to a lot of people too. That was a fun period of my life I won't be able to get back. But another fun period of people's lives coming up, Cam.
Red Hot Summer.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is talking my language yet again, Steve.
Oh, yes.
The Red Hot Summer Tour is back for 2020, celebrating 10 years with a lineup packed full of Australians, Steve.
Yeah.
Great Australians, if you will. I'm talking Hunters and Collectors.
Oh, they're great.
James Rain.
Oh, even greater.
The Living End.
Greatness
Don't
personified,
even get me started yet again. The Angels.
Oh, they're good.
Baby Animals. Killing Heidi, which are touring at the moment, and Boom Crash Opera.
Boom Crash Opera.
Bit What a bloody red hot. That is red hot summer, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, Cam.
Now, they're doing 22 shows across Australia, starting in Ascot on January 4th through to Cairns on April 14th.
Yep.
Tickets are available now, Steve. You can head to redhotsummertour.com.au for tours and dates. Now, they're playing in Mornington, which is the closest one to us, and that'd be freaking awesome.
It would be. I actually Ubered to pick people up from the last
you
Red
did,
Hot Summer
didn't you?
Tour. Yes,
Yeah.
that was enjoyable. Moving on.
Here's to driving drunk people.
Here's to driving drunk people.
Which is what you're doing right now.
It's trying to steer this show in the right direction. Now, this is a tour that I'm really looking forward to. Aussie rock and roll legends UMI and Jebediah are hitting the road together to play 21 shows throughout October, November and December. Now, Cam, I've got my ticket to the Frankston show on October 11. Now, tickets are on sale now. For all of the dates and to buy tickets, head to umi.com.au or jebediah.net. Now, Cam, I'm seeing, in the space of 5 weeks, I'm seeing Jebediah, UMI, Spiderbait, Grinspoon, and then the following week I'm seeing you too. So it's a packed,
are we in
schedule.
year 12 again or something?
I know.
Or what's going on?
And then I'm seeing Elton John with my mum a month later. So it's pretty much.
And for me, Friends of Rom's playing as well.
Of course, yes, I saw that. And we did just see Body Jar in 28 Days recently.
Isn't that
2019 is pretty much just 2003.
It is, isn't it?
Wow. Oh, and you just came back from seeing Blink. It's really, Christ.
That's kind of disgusting, isn't it?
I know. We are getting too old. And can somebody release some good music these days? Jeez. Actually, we've got plenty of good music coming up later in the show. But Cam, another artist who you really like.
Yeah, another connection to Mark Hoppus.
Of course.
And Tom DeLonge, which I'll get to that in a second. Amy Shark's regional tour.
Yes.
She's going regional, Steve.
Oh, good on her.
Which is great news. After a massive tour earlier this year, Amy Shark will be playing regional shows this October and November in Newcastle, Canberra, Coffs Harbour, Sunshine Coast, Darwin, Wodonga. I don't know why I said it like that. Wodonga. Geelong and Hobart, with special guests Sly Withers and Eleanor Jacks. Now,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Amy will also be headlining the Yours and Ours Festival in Wollongong.
Sounds like a good festival. Might be worth going to, that one.
Yeah, definitely. She's an absolute legend.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw her. There was a picture of Tom DeLong, who's being quite active on Instagram at the moment. 'Cause
Yes.
he's doing Angels and Airwave stuff, but
Yep.
I'm not bitter. He was wearing an Adidas jacket with the 3 stripes down the side.
Yep.
And Amy Shark commented on it saying something like, "Hey dude, what are you doing wearing my jacket all the time?" Something like that. I found it funny. Tickets are on sale now. For all the dates and to buy tickets, head to
I
amyshark.com.
wonder if she's got an Adidas sponsorship.
Oh, surely.
Possibly.
Maybe?
Don't know.
We'll find out when we speak to her.
Now, we do have one last announcement, and it's not even on the rundown. This is how fresh it is, Cam.
Oh, do tell me more, Stephen.
Paul Kelly, Australian legend Paul Kelly.
I saw that come up today.
He's got his Making Gravy. It's becoming an annual event.
Yep.
Every Christmas, he has different artists coming and performing with him at the end of the year. This year, he'll be performing with Courtney Barnett, Kate Miller-Heidke, Marlon Williams, and Thelma Plum in the Sydney show.
Marlon Williams, wow, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's got an absolute beautiful voice.
Yeah. Now he's expanded because the first time he did it, I think he just played the My Music Bowl in
Yeah,
Melbourne.
that's right.
Now he's playing Saturday, 7th of December at Stadium Park at Optus Stadium in Perth. Thursday, 12th of December at the Sydney My Music Bowl in Melbourne. Saturday, the 14th of December at the Domain in Sydney. And Saturday, the 21st of December, which I believe is Gravy Making Day, at the River Stage in Brisbane in Queensland. So if you want to get tickets, head to frontiertouring.com to purchase your tickets for an Australian legend.
Sounds like chicken fat and gravy to me.
Exactly. Now, as we mentioned, we're not doing our top 5 anymore. So we're going to be rattling off a new question. So from next week, we're going to have our new question of the week. And Cam, what is our first question for next week?
What was or is
Yes.
your very first album purchase? We'll say purchase.
Purchase?
Yeah.
What if it was gifted to you?
It could have been owned.
Owned.
What's the first album you ever owned?
You might have leased it.
Yeah, you could have leased it.
You might have stolen it.
You could have stolen it.
Yeah, you could have burnt it off Zombor.
What was the first ever album you ever had in your possession?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Possession's such a better word.
Yeah.
So we'll put that up on our Instagram as well. So
Unless you're
let us
going
know.
through the airport, you don't want to hear the word possession.
No, exactly. Actually, speaking of possession, now this is a weird story that came up on the news the other day. We're going to get to a new music in the moment, but this is just a weird story I heard in the radio.
This has to come out.
It does have to come out somewhere. There was a Danish guy has been arrested for smuggling in pig semen. Danish pig semen that he wanted to bring into Australia to impregnate an Australian pig to have a kind of Danish-Australian pig hybrid. He was smuggling them in milk bottles.
In milk bottles?
And he got caught.
As in like cartons of milk?
No, I think like baby milk bottles.
Baby milk bottles.
Well, I don't know. I didn't look too deeply into it. Neither did he, obviously, because he got caught. And I think he's facing like 3 years prison for smuggling in Danish pig semen.
Wow, what did you go to jail for? Smuggled in pig semen to another country.
Oh.
Yeah, that was me. I know.
Yeah.
You learn from your mistakes.
Moving on. New music, Cam. I believe you've got our first track for this week.
Yeah, and it's not my fault, Steve.
Are you sure?
By the band Milk, who you happened to interview. Last week, was it?
And,
a few days ago.
Are we sure it's milk or is it pig semen?
Somebody get him some milk.
It's milk with a Y.
Yes, that's right. Why? I don't know. But Melbourne indie rockers Milk have released their latest single, Not My Fault.
Sorry, I just knocked that over.
What was that?
It was a headphone jack. Sorry, it wasn't my fault.
And we never saw it again. As we said, Steve had a chat with them, so check that interview out with Harry from Milk earlier this week. Now, this song's pretty cool, Steve. It's pretty chilled, laid back. I really like the film clip, kind of quirky, kind of cool.
Quirky.
Milk will be celebrating the release with an exclusive hometown show at the Grace Darling Hotel in Melbourne on August the 23rd, Steve.
Very exclusive.
It's pretty damn cool. Let's check out Not My Fault by Milk.
I was in the store and I was walking through an aisle with style. I look behind me and see a whole box of cereal on the ground. Well, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's the way I was born. It's not my fault.
That was Not My Fault by Milk. Next up, we've got Melbourne rockers Loser.
Hey, loser.
One and the same, Cam. They've released their new single, Out of Luck, through Domestic Lala, as well as expanding from being a trio to now a 5-piece band, Cam. And look, these guys were my biggest find for 2018. I absolutely loved their debut, Restless Noise EP, and their single, Out of Luck, follows on very nicely from where they left off. That was my number 2 album or release of 2018.
Yeah, it was.
I
Yep.
absolutely loved that EP. If you haven't listened to it, check it out. But first of all, check out of Luck by Loser. They're about to hit the road supporting Canadian rockers Fucked Up on their Australian tour.
Love it.
Love it. I saw them supporting Foo Fighters, actually. Very interesting show. Did you just fart?
A little bit.
That's fucked up. But right now, while we clear out the room, this is Out of Luck by Loser.
And I can feel it in my bones. The more you take, the less out. We've said enough for me, time on it. I'm out of luck and I can't stray from it. I'm all out of luck.
That was Out of Luck by Steve's favourite band, Loser.
Slowly becoming.
Slowly becoming,
One of
yeah,
them,
definitely.
yes.
And there's more members in the band, so there's more to love.
Exactly.
Up next, we've got Shame by Bats. Melbourne-based musician Bats, also known as Tanya Bat, has released the latest single, Shame, taken from her debut album, The Grand Tour, which is a concept album based around NASA's Voyager mission launched in 1977. Now, Shame is inspired by Bat's love for 60s music, mixed with her love of music coming out of England in the mid-90s. Now, you can sort of see that sort of mash up, and her voice just really complements both of those things, and it just all goes really well together. So let's check out Shame by Bats.
It's funny how we think we'd be better off if we took off and started somewhere new. Maybe Saturn, Jupiter, or Mars, where Bowie watches us through the stars. It's such a shame, 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 shame. It's such a shame, 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 shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame.
That was Shame by Bats. Now, our next track, Cam, is by Sydney-based satanic rockers Gay Paris. Hey! They've released their latest single, Sleep Armada, as well as announcing shows in Sydney, Melbourne and Adelaide to celebrate 10 years of the dark arts. Now, I've seen them live before, and they are
10
a
years.
must-see live band. They have such a great live presence, and I couldn't recommend them highly enough, Cam. Now, I've been a fan for them for quite a while, and I really think that this one-off single fits in really well with the rest of their work.
Yep.
If you like this song, I highly suggest checking them out live and maybe going back and listening to some of their older albums. But right now, this is Sleep Armada by Gay Paris.
I'm getting buried on an alien beach. I'm kissing shepherds like a socialite leech. I'm making friends, but God, I'm feeling sick from me tonight. I got the feeling that I'm falling in love. I got the feeling that it's just not enough. I got the feeling that I'm gonna go to sea on the tide and die. Ocean awake to sleeper. I can't breathe and I can't swim. It's gonna be a life. Hello, ocean weeping. We can't stay here, but we can live. It's gonna be a life. It's gonna be a life.
That was Sleep Armada by Gay Paris. Up next, Steve.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to watch what happens next.
What can't you
Is
tell
the
me?
song by Water Parks. Watch
right.
what happens next. Yeah.
yep.
Houston Rockers, Steve. I know how to speak the language, you know what I'm saying?
Please don't do that.
Yeah, okay.
Please, just
Houston Rockers, Water Parks.
the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, the Houston Rockets, all right. No, they're Houston Rockets. Fuck, Steve. They're Houston Rockers, Steve.
That's pretty much my tagline on Tinder. Fuck Steve. It doesn't work.
Maybe you should be a little bit more gentle.
A little more subtle, perhaps.
Yeah. Water Parks have announced their new album, Steve, Fandom. It's out on October the 11th through Hopeless Records. Much like your Tinder profile,
It's
Hopeless Records, and have shared their new single, Watch What Happens Next, on Steve Tinder as well.
Yeah.
We saw these guys play at Good Things Festival last year, and they're really good. You know, got the crowd going.
Oh, yeah.
Just absolutely smashed it, really.
They're absolutely getting the crowd going.
Yeah, exactly. So let's check out Watch What Happens Next by Water Parks.
And if you really love me, you should want the best for me. Everyone is Edward when bands break up. Well, guess what? We're defeated as fuck, shamed out of money by their own culture. Nice to fucking meet you, let's get a little see-through. Watch what happens next, yeah.
I like cool shirts, I like cold rings. I want a big house, I want nice things. I want jetpacks for all my friends. I want a big house, I want nice things.
You don't love me the same, it's such a fucking shame. I don't deserve as much as all your puppets. You wanna hear my art, but only on your terms. So learn these fucking
I like
words.
cool shirts, I like cold rings. I want a big house, I want nice things. I want jetpacks for all my friends. I want a big house, I want nice things.
That was Watch What Happens Next by Water Parks. Our last track for tonight, Cam, is by Sydney punk band Whatever Forever. They've just signed to Grayscale Records and have also released their latest single, Bury Me. The band will be touring the country next month in support of Reactions, and I'm sure they're bracing for a big 2020. Now, I love punk, Cam. You love punk. You travelled around the other side of the world to see some punk.
Oh, hell yeah.
Love a bit of punk, so I'm sure you're going to love this as well. So this is Bury Me by Whatever Forever.
Stuck a little hole in the ground. I took what's left of me and hid it away so it'll never be found. Anything is better than where I am now. I wish that you could understand it's where it may go. You only cared about yourself and where you fit into all of this. I'm feeling down. I'm stuck in a hole in the ground. I'm writing my escape when I lie awake. Out of sight and out of mind. I'm better off that way.
That was Bury Me by Whatever Forever, and that concludes our new music segment, thus far.
Yes. Well, I mean, thus far it's concluded.
It's concluded.
There's no more further. So
No.
thus far is.
But I mean, like, thus far for the season.
Oh,
So far.
so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pay it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this has been a big show. You've been telling us a lot about your trip, and I'm sure over the coming weeks, months, years, you'll be telling us many more stories about some of the stuff you've been telling me off mic.
I know.
It's been fancy.
All I can
It's
say
been
is
great.
there was 2 weeks in those towns packed every day. So every day has about 10 times.
You packed yourself
stories.
every day.
Oh, so good.
We're going to be unpacking it over the next few weeks.
I'll tell you what, I recommend if you get a chance to actually travel on your own and tick up a few bucket list items, I highly recommend it.
Yeah. Oh,
It was freaking awesome.
I would love to travel on my own. I would love to do a sports tour of the United States. I haven't been to the States,
Yeah.
but I would love to do a travel. I'd like to see my hockey team play.
Yes.
The Colorado Avalanche in Colorado. And I'd like to go see the US Open, and I'd like to see the Seahawks play in Seattle. Just see my favourite sports teams play. That would be my thing, and maybe see some gigs while I'm over
I
there.
really wanted to see a sport over there. It's baseball season at the moment, and I missed out on the Padres in San Diego by 1 day.
Oh.
That was my only chance.
Just
but
be a lot cheaper to have a Valium, I reckon.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I'm sure people love baseball, and good on it. I just find baseball to be a little boring.
It'd be an experience. Sit there, have a hot dog. It'd be awesome, man.
Giant pretzel.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been a big show. We'd love to hear from you. As we mentioned before, garagerockpodcast@gmail.com. Also hit us up on Facebook and on Instagram. Our question of the week again, Cam.
What is the first album you had in your possession?
So please let us know about that, and we'll read it out in the show next week. But until then, I've been Steve.
And I've been Cameroni Nose.
Goodbye, everyone.
Howdy, partner.